Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 148 of the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Joey, Nick, and Ben. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Happy to be here, and like we were just saying, not watching the Cleveland stanky Guardians. Shout out to the worst team in baseball right now.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
On a positive note, monumental day. Ben and I back at college for
Haircut Ben, looking good, Ben.
Yeah, Ben, how are you doing?
Feeling good, doing great here at Ohio University. Oh yeah, I had a good first day of classes, and shout out to the Scripps Journalism College and WUB, which I'll be getting a part of Greek journalism media programs.
They started you guys on a Monday down there. That's brutal. Both you guys got class today?
Yeah, full day. Been going all day since 9 a.m. this morning. But I am pumped for this episode. We've got a lot to cover today. Of course, our top 10 centers list, our final top 10 list of the offseason. One news story and then a survey that we can take a look at by ESPN. So a lot of stuff to go over today. So let's get started with POELTL. We've done very well recently, coming off of Joey's absolute sniping of getting Isaac Okoro in 2. So let's see if we can do it once again. Nick, who should we guess for our first player today?
Well, no pressure, Joey, but I am going to set it up the same way I set up the Zion pick, as this player should not, I feel much safer saying should not be on our top 10 center list.
Okay.
But we're going to go with the guy who the game is named after. Jakob POELTL is my guy today.
Let's do it. Jakob POELTL. All right. Eastern Conference big guy who's not considered a center and a little younger. So it's a 6'10 or 6'11 forward. In the East. Right off the bat, I mean, I don't think Evan Mobley is a 7-footer. I think he's 6'11.
Yeah, him or Cat were the first two that came to mind.
But Cat has a higher jersey number.
It's not the Atlantic division, yeah.
Oh, yeah, not Atlantic either. There's
I'm good with that, Mobley.
Let's try it out. Evan Mobley, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Central Division.
So he's 6'10.
And he's
a young guy.
Center?
Yeah, he's even younger.
He's a young boy.
This is a dude fresh into the league in the Central Division once again. So this will be the Pacers, Bucks, Bulls, or Pistons. Oh, no, Jalen Duren's number 0. I thought it was
Yeah. I was thinking
Indy's got some big dudes. What about Enrique Freeman?
I think he actually went to another team. If I'm not mistaken.
Shout out the Zips.
I don't remember
the Zips.
But yeah, shout out to the Zips. 6'10 forward.
I'm stuck on the Pacers. Like, I want to say my guy Jarris Walker too, but he's not 6'10.
And he's number 5. Let's see, what young guys are around the league? A 6'10
Buzelis is around that height.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably Montes Buzelis.
I think you might have it.
Yeah, go with that.
That's my guy.
Nice.
It is.
Yeah.
Modest Buzelis in 3. Great pull. That was perfect.
Nice, Nick.
That was perfect. Let us know how long it took you guys to get Modest Buzelis in 3. Now let's get into, I guess, really the only news story that we have over the last week. Came out a couple days ago that MALIK Beasley, free agent sharpshooter who played for the Pistons last season, is no longer a target for gambling, for his gambling investigation after really the whole offseason, being investigated by the league for that, which means now he's still a free agent and he now can realistically go sign with a team. Joey, what are your thoughts on this, that Beasley is now able to come back to the league?
I guess good. Just happy for him that he got away with it, or that he was innocent and it came out to be true. I don't know. I don't like all of the gambling stuff. Gambling is an addiction, and I feel bad for anybody who feels that they have to. But with all that money, guys, just don't throw it away like that. But he got away with one, and hopefully this scare doesn't lead him down. Hopefully he doesn't keep going down that path. and just stays away from it.
Yeah, it's an interesting story for sure. Beat the case, Malik Beasley, way to go, first of all. Yeah, like you're making millions of dollars. Why would you even risk that opportunity with something that seems as stupid as this? It's easy for me to say that without being in that position. I heard like MPJ talking about his brother. Yeah, like kind of like justifying it, sort of being like, when you grow up around 10 to a dozen people that like don't have anything and like nothing is financially like stable or nothing is promised or like guaranteed. So like you're gonna do everything you can to like get a leg up, including maybe like illegally gambling, even though you're already making millions in the NBA. It's just like sort of that mindset that you get fixed into. So yeah, you just got to be better. Beat the case this time and hopefully learn your lesson.
Yeah, Ben, where do you think Malik Beasley could sign now? I mean, it looks like teams are going to try to get this guy. He did have an incredible year last year, second in sixth man of the year, second in the entire NBA in three-pointers made 319. So really had a great season for the Pistons last year. Of course, now that we're at, late August, there aren't a whole lot of teams that are going to be able to really sign him for a whole lot of money. So this is going to turn into a 1 year kind of prove it sort of thing for Beasley. Where do you think are the best spots for him?
I have been hearing he could re-sign with the Pistons, and I think it'd be nice to see him re-sign with the Pistons. That's for sure. I think I also saw that the Knicks and the Cavs were possibly looking at him. Is that correct?
There were reports that they checked in on him. So, checked in. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, how's your parlay doing today? That's what.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. So it is just an interesting situation because I don't know, Joey, you are our NBA historian here. Have we ever seen anything like this before, where a player was accused of something, was going to be offered a significant contract? Beasley was going to be offered a 3-year, $42 million deal. And in the same offseason is probably going to lose a lot of that money here because of the situation. Can you think of another time that this has happened?
Not in recent memory, or at least none springing to my head. But it definitely will be like what you said, like a prove-it deal. And I do like Ben's pick of going back to Detroit. But yeah, 1 year prove-it deal, and then maybe he can try to get more money next year when people are in teams will obviously shed some salary cap and open some more space up, but a little too late. So.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the Pistons, it was great for him last year. They kind of made a lot of moves this offseason to replace him after the news happened. I mean, they bring in Karis LeVert. Duncan Robinson is quite literally Beasley's replacement, does basically the same thing. Javonte Green goes to Detroit as a wing player. And the only teams that have an exception to sign Beasley to a contract greater than just $7.2 million are the Bulls, the Pacers, the Pelicans, the Kings, and the Wizards. And, of course, the Brooklyn Nets have a ton of cap space as well. So we'll get to see what he kind of prioritizes, going to a winning situation, taking less money to go to a New York or Cleveland or LA or something like that, or to go somewhere to get some more money to maybe not win as much but get your stock back and have more of a role offensively, get more shots. We'll see what ends up happening, but I would probably expect a signing here in the next week or so now that he's kind of back on the market. Nick, what do you think?
I don't know. I was just about to ask you if you think one option is better than the other, like sign with the Bulls or the Pels, and like maybe you get to average 15 to 16 points a game, and that gets you a contract next year. But it could also go bad halfway through the season where like maybe the team does significantly worse than expected and they stop playing vets and guys that are on $7 million 1 year deals, and then you just get your opportunity gets thrown out the window. So like the other side of that coin is you sign for less money for a contending team and you actually have an opportunity to make an impact on winning, and then that is your route to get paid next year. So it's really a difficult spot, and I don't know what I would do if I was him.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, when you think about it like that, I mean, there might be a situation where he signs to I don't know, we could say the Wizards or something, one of those teams that were in the lottery last year, builds his value up over the first half of the year, then gets traded to that contender. Second half of the season could be something like that. But either way, excited to see where he lands because he was really good last year, as I mentioned before, and he will be a great bargain signing for whatever team, picks him up. So definitely interested in seeing what happens with that. You guys have any other thoughts on this before we move on?
I just hope he can stay at that same level he was last year because it was extraordinary for him to be second and sixth man of the year vote last year. So I hope that he is at that level when he comes back.
Yeah, averaged 16 points per game, shot 41.5% from three on 9 attempts per game off the bench. Like, really good stuff right there.
Shout out Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, for getting him the ball a lot of times. Yeah, he was, after Ivy got injured, he was the second leading scorer for a playoff team in Detroit. So he did contribute to winning on that level as well. Next year, I saw this earlier here today on ESPN, an article called NBA Summer Forecast for 2025-26. Basically, ESPN held a survey made up of 26 NBA insiders where they all answered a bunch of questions heading into the season. So I want to hear what you guys think.
They didn't ask us? Ben, did you get an email from ESPN about this survey?
I wish.
Someday. That's hope.
Yeah.
All right, question number 1. Which team will make a major leap this next season? I want to hear what you guys think as far as what team will make a major leap and who you think the insiders voted for in first place.
My first instinct is to go with Orlando. That's who I would pick for them to have picked as well. I think Orlando's in a prime spot to make a huge jump in the wide open East, and just year after year they've improved and going into their third year of Paolo being the core with Jalen Suggs and Wendell Carter Jr. Hopefully these guys can, and Jonathan Isaac, can stay on the court this year. And if everything goes well, then they have a good chance of being a top 4 seed in the East. With, a case to be had for making a push in the playoffs too. If the Cavs or the Knicks, who are at the top of the conference, have any sort of injury problems, the Magic are a deep squad that, like I said, have been building for a couple of years, and it feels like they're ready to win a playoff series.
Yeah, and that needs to be where their mindset is at, to win a playoff series and get home court advantage in the East. That is for sure. I will say the Magic are number 3 on this voting, so definitely up there.
I had a feeling they weren't going to be it, but my pick would also either be Orlando or Atlanta. I'm very high on Atlanta this year. I've talked about it a lot. And I just think Trae Young going to be back to himself. All these rookies improved a lot and showed out, and a lot of these young guys. And I don't know, maybe next year they put it all together. Who knows? However, who I think if I know anything about ESPN and they stick to their same kind of cities, it's either the Lakers for the first full year with Doncic and LeBron and all that, and A. Reeves, or, and this is who I think they actually did, is Dallas.
Oh.
Because Cooper Flag, AD, maybe Kyrie shows up at the end. Who knows? They might think they're probably going to put their thing in that.
Joey's going to have Dallas higher than everybody else in his predictions for the conference standings.
No,
it's a definite no.
That's a definite.
I'm saying higher than me, Ben, and Miles.
Unless you have them out of the play-in, then no.
Interesting. I'm excited to get to that when we get to that. Ben, who do you think? Who do you think ESPN voted for which teams will make a major leap?
Another team that came to my mind, you guys haven't mentioned, is the San Antonio Spurs. I think they, just barely missed the plane last year, fortunately because of injuries, but now they're getting everyone healthy back this year. Spurs basketball is gonna get back to being a lot of fun. Wemby, we already, saw him last year, have some games where he just looked like a superstar out there. We'll talk about him more in this episode. Yeah, and I believe, he'll continue to be amazing. And they got De'Aaron Fox. Now Dylan Harper's in the mix. Intrigued to see what Dylan Harper's got this rookie year. And they have Jeremy Sohan out of the wing for some good defense. Still Vassell, Johnson, some good wings that do some good things at both ends of the floor. I think the Spurs have some good depth. They are loaded at the guard position, but that's really good that they have multiple guards who could just give the ball to Wemby. I think that aspect's really going to help them this year.
Yeah, that is very true because Wemby's rookie season just 2 years ago, it was the complete opposite. I remember what we're talking about on here. Well, Ben, you are right on the money. Spurs are number 1 that the insiders voted for, but they did tie with the Hawks.
Hey, let's go.
So maybe we do have some ESPN insiders on here. But yeah, so Spurs and Hawks tied for number 1. Second was actually the 76ers. Well, because how could it get much worse than last season?
Fair.
Number 3 was the Magic, and then getting a few votes in there. Minnesota, number 4, and Houston at number 5. Even though
how does Houston
take a jump,
a bigger leap from the second seed? Maybe win a playoff game, I guess. Minnesota, same thing. They made the conference finals.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, people think
make the finals. I guess that's a big leap.
Yeah, it is for that Minnesota team.
Yeah, Minnesota's the one I'm kind of surprised is there. But anyways, going back in the other direction, which team will take a tumble this season? Which team will take the biggest step back? Nick, who do you think is number 1?
That's a tough one. Probably the Celtics or the Pacers.
They are both in the top 5, but not number 1. Not number 1, but they are both in the top 5. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, this is a tough one.
It doesn't seem like in today's NBA there's a lot of teams that are getting worse.
Man, I mean, right.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's what makes this one like tougher than like the last one we just did. But I don't know. I'm gonna say the Sacramento Kings will take a bit of a tumble because I mean, they got a few good players, but like
fighting words right
the
there.
West, like it's just loaded the West, and they just Victor have a tough time in the West and not be all that great this year. Be mediocre, in my opinion, at least now before the season.
Go for the throw, Joey.
Oh, I'm a non-believer, man.
Joey, who do you think? Who do you think ESPN voted as the team to take, I guess, the biggest step back this season?
I really don't know, to be honest. Maybe
I will say it makes perfect sense. Wait, what did you say, Joey?
The Bucks, maybe?
That is, yes, number 1.
It is the Bucks?
It is the Milwaukee Bucks. They are voted as the team to take the biggest tumble this season.
That's the only one that kind of makes a little logical sense.
Because again, besides Giannis and Miles Turner, who we may or may not talk about later, I mean, it's a very rough roster. There's just no question.
I actually think the Bucks are going to have a really strong start to the year, like how last year went horribly. Like I think they're going to be like a top 4 seed in the first, like by Christmas maybe, and then kind of fall off the wagon a little bit later and like earn their playoff spot lower, probably around a 6 or a play-in spot. But I do think they're going to take some people by surprise because no one's expecting anything of them, but Giannis is still there and like he hasn't gotten any worse in the last 5 years. He's insane. So I think they're going to be better than people expect.
You expect an MVP type first half of the season out of Kyle Kuzma, then, if that's what you think is going to happen.
Role player.
You're on to me.
So the top 5 of this, it is Milwaukee, number 1. Number 2 is the Lakers, actually, to take a step back. Joey loves that. Number 3, a tie between the Celtics and the Suns. Number 4 is the 76ers. So these insiders are either higher than or all the way down. And the number 5 is Indiana.
I think they might have asked Godwin. They might have thought he was an ESPN insider.
Yeah, that's right.
The Lakers are only on there for rage baiters.
True.
Yeah. Next question. It's a fill-in-the-blank sort of question. Nick, we'll start with you with who you think the insiders said. the next superstar to request a trade will be blank.
First name that came to mind was Joel Embiid.
Ooh. Okay. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, wow, that's a good question.
I will say it is arguable. I don't know if any of us would call this guy a superstar, but to ESPN, it's a superstar.
Kyle Kuzma.
I'm thinking, well, I mean, I don't know. Giannis possibly. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, before this season. But I mean, if things go rough, with the Bucks next year, like it possibly could. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll want out, but it's a tough question.
Yeah.
Giannis has, still now seen wanting to stay loyal for Milwaukee, but we'll have to see. But Embiid's another good one too. I could see that possibly.
Yeah, those are both good guesses. Let's see. So on this, I guess there are 25 voters. Giannis was number 2 with 7 of the votes.
Ooh.
So he's right up there. This number 1 guy got 10 of the votes, so 40% of the votes. Joey, who do you think?
And you said fringe superstar, like someone we probably wouldn't consider.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, ESPN definitely considers this guy a superstar, or has throughout his time in the league.
So, just because of the previous bad stops, Jimmy Butler, maybe.
Oh, that'd be funny. No, number 1, Zion.
Oh,
Zion from the Pels got 10 of
him requesting a trade.
interesting.
I think the city of New Orleans should request a trade for him.
I was about to say, isn't it the other way around?
Yeah.
I think the city of New Orleans wants their 2018 first number 1 overall pick back.
But yeah, so the voting, Zion got 10 votes, then Giannis with 7, LeBron with 6 votes,
That'd be sick.
And then 1 vote each for Ja Morant and Trae Young. So,
oh yeah,
so definitely could be interesting.
Embiid was not on there.
Embiid was not on the list. Embiid was not on the list.
You know that dude Daryl Morey just likes to ruffle people's feathers, and no one. I mean, who knows what's going on in Philly right now? So that was why I think he came to mind.
Yeah. Final question here. Will we get? I guess there's not really one to guess here. Will we get a different champion for the 8th straight season? 15 said yes, 11 said no. So 11 people think that the Thunder are going to repeat. 15 think we're going to get a different champion. What do you guys think about this? A pretty decent split of the votes there.
Yeah, the only argument I can make against the Thunder right now, because they are they have the best roster. They just won the title. They just they have every argument for them to make it back there and win it again. They have a really good argument for the first time over the last 7 or 8 years, however many teams have won the title. I think this is a really good argument for back-to-back against the other. Whatever I'm trying to. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say.
No, because they're still so young.
Yeah,
this is the best chance for sure. Like, I've been trying to think in my head of championship predictions, and if I try to go against the Thunder, I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's because we've had a different champion for 8 straight seasons. But this team is young. We'll talk about it in the previews. I don't know if there will be any championship hangover because none of them drink. Like, it's crazy.
Well, I'm going to use that youth argument against them because going back to back is hard. Like,
true.
So, like, if it was hard for Kobe, if it was hard for MJ, like, it's going to be a difficult thing for these young dudes to do. And whether or not they're up to that task, like that's what we're going to find out, is whether or not they can, stay at that level and replicate what they did last year.
Yeah. On paper, for sure, they have the best, like, even just watching them, there's no team that we've seen better yet, obviously, because the preseason hasn't started or the season hasn't started. But they've only done good things. They're still the best team. But I'm going to go yes. I think we will have a different champion just because I think even though Indiana put up a hell of a battle, I think if you have a possible New York or Cleveland or even somewhat like even if Orlando somehow would probably be my next best chance in the East, maybe. If any of those go, they might give them a tougher battle, in my opinion. I don't know about y'all, but they also have to make it out of that loaded West. Who, like Nick was saying earlier, everyone's going to be coming through to their throat. Like if they're young, they're gonna know they're gonna get everybody's best performance. They better be ready for it.
Yeah, especially in that West, because I mean, not only have we not had a repeating champion for 8 straight seasons, I think in that same span, that champion hasn't made it past round 2, which is still incredible. Ben, what do you think? Do you think that the Thunder have a great, or do you think the Thunder will repeat again, or will we see a new champion?
It's a tough question. Like, it's tough, but I'm gonna say that I think the Thunder still have the best roster now, but no, because it's really hard to repeat. Which I mean, who knows? They could repeat. They definitely have a shot. The Thunder. I won't count them out with that, but it's just the West is loaded, as we've said, and other teams have gotten better in the West, like the Rockets. They got Durant. They got their number 1 scoring option. They could be dangerous. The Nuggets, remember, they took the Thunder to 7 in the playoffs last year, and they got even better. They have Jokic, who we'll talk about more in this episode, and what else? The Clippers got better. I mean, they're an experienced team. They could just stay healthy for the playoffs. I mean, I think that would be a really tough match for the Thunder if they face the healthy Clippers team in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so,
definitely a lot of good competition in that Western Conference.
The Knicks and the Cavs, if they face one of them in the finals, would be tough on them. I believe the Cavs and the Knicks could be even better this year.
Yeah, all I know, I cannot wait to see, and I cannot wait for us to make our final predictions before the season starts of who we think is going to win the championship heading into the season. Cannot wait for that. But still, a little bit to go here, and now it's time for our top 10 centers list. This is a position that is always loaded with depth and a lot of just really solid guys. We got superstars at the top. Borderline all-star caliber players here. I had 13 guys in my pool to put for this list. So I'm excited to see what you guys all have. Of course, injured players are on the list, of course, like the previous episodes. I know there's kind of different formations on how we have made the list. I know mine is always based off last season, impact on winning, and how I feel about them heading into next season. Joey, how about you? Kind of same thing for this one?
Yeah, a little bit of that. A lot, me and my predictions.
Oh, yeah.
So, however, if I think their team's going to do well next year, and I think they're going to be a big part of that, they'll probably get a higher ranking.
Nick, how about you? How are you forming your center list for today?
Instinct. Total intuition.
I like it.
Not bad. Ben has migrated to another location. Are we ready? Let's get started with our list here with number 10. Joey, why don't you get us started? Who's your number 10 center?
All right. I'm going to be biased again and be my homer and let me be Jared Allen. Still can average at most, what did he do this past year here? 13.5 and just under 10 rebounds, about a block a game. Still solid. He's a guy that you don't want to meet down low. He's going to go up, whether he's going to get dunked on or he's going to block your shot. He's willing to go up with every best dunker in the game right now. He's not scared. And I don't know. When he gets it going on offense, he's got a little mean mid-range floater that he loves to dump on everybody. That's pretty unguardable. But I don't know. I love Jay. I think the Cavs are going to do well next year. And I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to focus on Evan Mobley, who is expected to take another big jump next year. And maybe that leaves Jared Allen to get a little more opportunities as well. Maybe his numbers, who are still solid, maybe those even go up next year.
Yeah, J.A., I had him a spot higher on my list. I had him at number 9. I mean, he's just, reliable. He led the league in field goal percentage. And like you said, Joey, it's not just like dunks and layups. Like, he's taking some difficult post shots, sometimes mid-rangers. Like, 70% from the field was pretty impressive for not just being a dunks and layups guy. And even like the 13 points, just under 10 rebounds, only played 28 minutes a game because the Cavs were dominating so many games, didn't have to play a whole lot down the stretch of games. So very good year for Jared Allen. I love that he is our center. I love him as our center. Congratulations for the for getting married this summer, High School Musical. We're all on this together. That was awesome. My number 10 was Miles Turner. There's a controversial name sometimes for the list, but I had to give him his love. Again,
left somebody off,
just like a lot of the other Pacers across the list. Had to give him his love. There were definitely some moments where I know Coach Cove was not really happy. If he was Rick Carlisle, he would have screamed at him.
It wasn't anything that he could control. It was just sort of we were watching one of the finals games in Miles' basement, and I was making comments about his pace of play. It seemed like he was just like falling. I mean, Pacers play fast as heck, and he's over 7 feet tall, so like it's not a surprise that he'd be, slower or a little bit behind.
Yeah,
Miles, I think you left somebody off, man, because I had Turner at 11. I had Turner at 11. I had Allen also at 10. But I think I'm excited. I'm intrigued to see who you got at 8 and 7.
Ben, who do you have at 10?
I had Miles Turner too at 10.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I decided to show him some love on my list too. We, had overall, say a good playoff. Made some good contributions to the Pacers on their great run, and he
got paid
a great leader for the Pacers, and he got the pay he deserved with the Bucks. He'll be in a big role with the Bucks, so part of this ranking was I thinking he could have a pretty good year coming up with with Milwaukee, with how big of a role he's going to be in there.
Same thing with Joey was saying with Jared Allen, like with a lot of focus being on Evan. Same thing for Turner in Milwaukee, a lot of focus going to be on Giannis. I might give Turner and Allen some open opportunities this year more so than in the past.
I was about to say, I really do like Miles Turner as well. He was probably the first one off my list because if he can hit that 3 at a consistent clip,
rim protector,
and be a rim protector, like you were just saying, Giannis is going to get double and triple teamed at times. They just swing the ball. He's probably going to be open a lot.
I mean, this is a younger, more athletic version of Brook Lopez, essentially going to Milwaukee. So that should be a fun front court. Interested to see how he plays, because even like Brook Lopez, because the Bucks were so deep there when they've been contenders all these years, Lopez was like the 4th or 5th guy out there in those lineups. Quickly, Turner is the second option, and he needs to produce in order for them to win. So it will be interesting to see how he plays. That's for sure. Nick, who do you have at number 9?
I put iHeart here, which I think you guys might have left off.
I did leave him off actually at 12.
I did as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like iHeart in this spot. Insanely dominant big man. Just, when he's out there, he's getting a lot of rebounds. There's not a lot of guys in the league who are going to go and get a rebound over him. And just had a huge impact on the Thunder's title run last year, so I think he deserves a spot on my top 10.
Talk about Miles. Talk about his factors, his capable or his impact on winning. iHeart had a crazy impact on winning. We knew it from when the Thunder signed him in the last free agency. We're like, that's what they needed. Just dominating at rebounding. That's
this 9 spot. Honestly, putting him over Allen came down. I mean, like I try and think of like the whole player, and like when he was just beating up on Jared Allen and when he had a Knicks jersey on 2-3 seasons ago and stuff in the playoffs, it's like part of that still is held in here. So like that's why, and that was another reason like I thought he deserved a spot and to be over Allen. He's an insanely dominant big man.
That's fair. I just kept him off because I honestly just think that, let's see, where do I have Hardenstein? I ended up having him like 12, 13. I just think the guys above him are better and just are able to. I mean, Hardenstein, especially in the playoffs, there were some times where he couldn't be on the floor just because they wanted Holmgren at the 5. But it's not against him at all. I mean, if you're talking about elite role players, I consider him he's an elite role player for a championship team. So definitely deserves some credit on the list.
Agreed.
Joey,
the other guys are
9?
A bit more versatile. Allen, like he can play out of the short roll and stuff and like hit the middies and stuff. Ihart is like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At number 9, I actually have an injured guy, or somewhat injured and injury problems. I have Kristaps Porzingis. Talent-wise, like he's still going to average around 20 points a game. He's still going to be a really good rim protector. It just comes down to injuries. He played 40 games last year, 50 games the year before. Until he gets back over that 60 mark, I don't think I can have him any higher, but the talent level is still there, clearly. Shoots a 3 at still like a 41% clip as well. Like, he's still a good in and out scorer, good defender. People still want him. That's why he was traded. So, I don't know. I think especially what team he's on, the Hawks, right?
Yeah, Atlanta. That's their big.
I'm high on the Hawks for a reason. They got some center help, and if he can be healthy with that team, Trae Young's going to find him as a bunch. I'm excited for the KP and Trae Young show next year.
Yeah, for sure. That's why for that and for his ability on the floor, I did have him a little bit higher, but with the injury concerns, definitely understand him having a little bit lower. Ben, who's your number 9?
Mine is Rudy Gobert. I put Rudy Gobert because, I mean, look, he's made a great winning impact for the Timberwolves. Still can play some great defense, can anchor down low. Still a pretty good rebounder. Obviously, he's not the best scorer, but he just, on the Timberwolves recently and on the recent playoff runs, has done a great job of contributing to winning. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like the pick. Rudy's been a starting center on a top 5 team in the West for, a couple, 3-4 years now, or at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the pick. Miles, who do you got at 9?
9 is where I had Allen.
Right.
8. So Rudy Gobert, I ended up not putting him on my list, which kind of felt weird, not having him on my list.
He's not on mine either.
I actually have him at 8, just because I think even if he's not the Rudy Gobert of the 4 Defensive Player of the Year titles, and that reign might be over just because Wemby and a crazy amount of good defenders in the league now. But he is still the anchor for that insanely good Wolves defense that have carried them to the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years.
My argument against Rudy would be
that's the only thing that kind of got him in my list still, is that he is still that anchor of that defense.
There's a question in my head as to whether or not the Wolves would be a better team without him. As to sometimes like he holds them back, and if they didn't have to have him out there, then they might be a better offensive team. So that was my reasoning for leaving him off, is just I had questions about whether or not his impact is positive.
It's a very valid argument, especially because you have Naz Reid coming in for him, and Naz Reid is one of the best 6 men in the league, and he plays the center position, and he can score upwards of 20 points a game if he really wants to. But that's the problem. But I think that's why Rudy Gobert pairs well with them, because I know we love Julius Randle, but his defense isn't the greatest. So having Rudy Gobert compensate for that over the offense, I think that's why he's still the starting guy. Yeah, but you're absolutely right, because if they started Naz Reid over Gobert, their offense would go crazy. I just think their defense would take too much of a hit.
Definitely fair. I just left Gobert off my list because, honestly, I just wasn't too impressed by him this year and his performances this year. I mean, even in the playoffs, I mean, I'll say it again, and I'll say it the whole offseason about the Timberwolves, and maybe this is the second straight year where I underrate a conference finals team like I did the Pacers last year, and they go back to the final. They go to the finals the next year. But I just wasn't too impressed by their playoff run. Like Rudy Gobert in the first 2 rounds got to play against 2 small teams that really didn't play big at all and didn't really do much in my opinion. And then in the conference finals against the Thunder, a real team, besides the Game 3 blowout win in Game 3, was played off the floor most of the time. And when you look at his playoff numbers, I mean, he had the ridiculous 27 and 24 game in the closeout against the Lakers. But if you take those numbers away, if you take away that game, in the playoffs in 14 games, he averaged 6 points and 7 rebounds per game. And that is not top 10 center worthy for me. So that's personally why I left him off the list. Number 8 is we had a big blow up from this guy this year. This is where I had Zubats.
Me as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zubats, just incredible. I mean, he averaged 17, 12 and a half. Like, he was incredible for the Clippers this year and was the anchor for one of the top defenses in the league, which really propelled the Clippers on that end of the floor to be, again, tied for the 3 seed in the West when all of us had them projected as a lottery team.
Yeah, Zub is not someone that I think a lot of people around the league recognized as like a great defender, but he is a great defender. He's insanely like anticipatory, and his awareness is like really good. He gets his hands on like a lot of loose balls and tips and blocks and stuff like that, but he just takes up a lot of space and he moves like pretty well for his size. So like that's a good combination. He was 4th in rebounding as well, like this year, and he's averaged over a block a game for the last 5 seasons. So like that's what you want.
And still kept like the same efficiency with the Clippers going to him as more of an option, like in the post. Like, he's one of the few guys that you still see. I mean, we'll talk about a couple of them on this list. I mean, even on the top, it shows how much the game has changed, right? I mean, we'll get to some guys that do love to play in the post a bit, but like Zubats, I don't know what the number would be on post ups per game, but Zubats is definitely up there. And even with all those attempts, he still kept the same efficiency. So I was just really pleased with what he was able to give the Clippers, and definitely wanted to give him some credit there. Ben, who's your number 8?
My number 8 is Kristaps Porzingis, KP. So I think when he's healthy and able to play, he's a pretty good player. I've noticed that on Boston, and when he played on Boston, he made a big impact when he was healthy and was able to play for them. He played pretty well defensively at times for Boston, and noticed he was a good, shot blocker and defender at the basket for Boston, and still is a good scorer when healthy too. Still can knock down some threes, and I believe if he can stay healthy on the Hawks this year, that he could have a pretty good year. He'll have a good role in Atlanta, and I think he could fit good on that team.
Totally agree. I have KP at my number 7 for those reasons.
I have him too.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Joey, I know you have Have you done your number 8?
I did. I had Gobert.
All right, let me talk about KP for a minute, because the reason I had him 7th ahead of like Zubac and stuff, when he got traded to Boston, like I immediately knew it was like, all right, this is the missing piece that is going to take the Celtics to like the next level. And I still think like he could be that for like the Hawks this year. I still think like that player is in there. When he's on the court, he can go off and give you 30 points, like spot up from behind the arc and then be a rim protector and a defensive guy on the other end. So yeah, definitely worthy of being top 10. I was afraid I had him a bit too high. Like honestly, the top 6 guys were pretty set for me, and then these bottom 4 like sort of role player fringe all-star guys were where I had like a couple questions about. But I put Porzingis at the top of like that second tier because of what I just said. Like I knew that when he got to Boston, he was going to be that missing piece, and I think Atlanta, like if he's out there and healthy, he could be a similar role for them.
I completely agree. That's the only reason I had him at 9 is because of the injury concerns, but he definitely has the talent level to be much higher on this list. I fully do not disagree there.
It's just crazy. Like Porzingis had a very good regular season last year. I'm even like looking back at it, and then of course he had the viral injury or whatever happened and was awful in the playoffs, unplayable. That was crazy. I'm just wondering, like, we still don't even know what really happened. But the second to last regular season game that he played in last week of the season in New York in overtime, 34 points, 8 made threes. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, it's crazy, but because he can do stuff like that, and I mean, we saw in the finals last season with Boston against Dallas, when he came back, they looked ridiculous. Like, it was incredible. And he definitely could have that same impact on Atlanta this year. Joey, who's your number 7?
That's where I have Zubac. And it's mostly just because of his consistency this year. He definitely took that leap. Like you said, his defense is so underrated just because he's not the high flyer blocking rim protector that we see. But because football's coming up, my mind's in football mode somewhat. He's like a D tackle who just kind of clogs the lane up and moves, and just nobody can kind of get past him. He's just kind of everywhere you want to be as a scorer. But
it's another good reason that he's a good pair with James Harden is because, like, James Harden, he'll attack the rim and sometimes need some stuff cleaned up, and Zubac is always there. They're always in the right spot.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, one of the best rebounders in the league for sure. Ben, who do you have at number 7?
I have Zubac too at number 7. Kind of the same reasons as Joey. He was a great underrated defender last year. Played a huge role on the Clippers last year, and scoring looked even better. He scored the ball pretty well at times, and I can't wait to see what Zubac can do this year, but I believe he can make a big impact once again this year for the Clippers.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, like you sort of did with your list, it would appear that we all have the same 6 guys at the top of this list, which is perfect. So yes. I can't wait to hear how this sounds. So I'll start with my number 6 now. I know Ben was talking rough about the Kings. I'm going to try to
me too.
I'm going to try to prepare my guard as well. I've got Sabonis at number 6.
Me too. You don't have to prepare anything. I got your validation right here, bud.
Good. Domantas Sabonis. I mean, very good player. I mean, the stats always look great. One of the best rebounders in the league. Averages 19 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists per game.
I know where you're going.
Impact
on winning.
It's not his fault that the Kings are mid as an organization. It's not his fault.
Well, it might be.
Yeah.
I think it might be because, you know, he's been their franchise guy. I mean, you had Fox there now. Sabonis the show, and like I was making the argument for Rudy holding them back. I think there's a similar, at least, storyline developing here in Sacramento.
I would agree. I have him low because I just don't think he's a winning basketball player. I mean, 2023, he was incredible when the Kings were the 3 seed. That's looking more and more like a fluke season as the years go on, you know, afterwards. And just, I mean, a lot of his stats, it's because they kind of run some things through him. I mean, he gets 2 or 3 assists because a lot of their offense is Levine brings up the ball, give it to Sabonis, 1 dribble handoff for like Monk for 3, and it's just easy. Like, and he rebounds well as well, but defensively, he's not there, does not impact winning on that end. And even like playoff wise, besides 2023, that season where they were the 3 seed and lost in the first round, Sabonis has not played in a playoff game since he became a full-time starter in the league back in 2019. So to me, you know, that says it all right there. Very good player, but clearly has not shown to be an impactful player when it comes to winning basketball. And I don't see that changing really anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definition of a guy who's going to put up great numbers and be like a sort of all-star candidate, perennial all-NBA candidate even, but just hasn't really, you know, done much in the winning category.
Yeah, because of his statistics.
Yeah,
he's
defense
been
sucks.
All-NBA, top 8 MVP player in 2 of the last 3 years. But, you know, that's a lot of statistics and not a whole lot of winning. Joey, who's your
I had
number 6? Or Ben, do you also have Sabonis?
Yeah, I also had Sabonis at 6.
Oh,
Kind of the same reasons as you guys. You know, he's a great offensive player, but hasn't made too much impact on winning recently, and his defense isn't the best.
I'm gonna cry. I'm getting betrayed here.
who's your number 6?
I have Sengun.
Well,
Yeah.
You're going to talk about defense with Sabonis. Sengun isn't the greatest either.
That's where I would go to impact on winning.
But yeah, no, I can't argue it. The only I have Sabonis at 5. Spoiler alert, but that's the highest he's going to go just because his defense is pretty dog.
Joey had to go to sleep tonight knowing that Sabonis was a top 5 center. In his
I did.
mind, so.
It's my own validation. I have to put him up there. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Did the other 3 of us all have Sengun here at 5?
yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, so yeah.
Sengun at 5. Yeah.
So
I mean,
mentally, I'm on the same page, but my heart, it just won't allow me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Nick, like you said, impact on winning. And even over the last couple seasons, whatever you want to say about if he's, a great lateral, quick defender, anything like that, he's been the center and the paint anchor for a great defense the last 2 years and a top 4 defense last year. I mean, he can have an impact on that end of the floor. Me personally, I know I've talked about this before. I want to see improvement offensively as well. I know he's a great playmaker, but again, I've talked about it before. His efficiency is not really where I want it to be at for a center. I mean, for a guy that's really only scoring in the paint and maybe sometimes those one-legged fadeaways, he should not only be shooting 52% on twos. I feel like he's got to be a lot more efficient in order to help that Rockets offense against someone who typically takes shots right in the paint, right near the basket, little baby hooks in the post. Need to be a little more efficient than that. But last year made a huge jump, all-star player, and the best player on the 2nd seed in the West. I mean, he's a terrific player.
That efficiency will probably get cleaned up, though, this year, just because I think, like we always talked about with the Rockets last year, the consistency on offense, it was the only consistently good one on offense was Sengun. Now that you have KD, they got to worry about the perimeter and the mid-range a lot more, and he might have a lot more open looks. But you're absolutely right. For a center, averaging under 50% from the field goal range, like just from shooting, is not great.
So he's listed at 6'11", which is, I believe, the same height. It's Chet, 7-footer.
I can check that right now. Chet Holmgren. Oh,
Isn't he like 7'2"?
Chet is 7'1".
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know. He feels like a small 6'11", that's my point.
yeah.
Who, Sengun or Holmgren?
Sengun.
I could agree with that. Let's see. Ben, who's your number 4 now? This should be interesting.
My number 4 is actually Joel Embiid.
Me too.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Well, I have him there because, when he's healthy, he is really talented. He could potentially look like one of the top players, but it's like the injuries and stuff like that holds him back for me. I mean, he's just, last year he was obviously out for a lot of the year because of injury, and he just had injury problems throughout his career, and he hasn't really been able to come through in the way I have wanted him in the playoffs so far. And, I just don't think his attitude's the best, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had Embiid at number 4. Same with Joey. I mean, like you said, Ben, when healthy, in my opinion, he could very well be number 1 on this list. Like, he's that good when he's healthy. But, I mean, at some point, we do have to take into account that it has been the same story really his entire career. And for that, and just last year, just being a disaster and just really having a bad taste in my mouth after that. He's number 4. He's number 4 on the list.
Yeah, I can't really add anything else to that.
I kept Towns I kept Towns at 4 and Embiid at 3. I don't think Towns will ever be on sort of. My only argument for that is, I mean, you guys are absolutely right in saying that just in terms of like what you can come to expect in a regular season game from the Sixers is going to be less than you would come to expect from a regular season game from Cat from the Knicks. Like Cat is a higher level player right now, but I don't think that he'd ever be on the level of like MVP conversation. Like he's not. I don't think he's that caliber of player. I think Embiid and the other two guys that we haven't gotten to yet are just a tier above Towns as a basketball player. So I wasn't ready to keep him out of my top 3. I know it's been a whirlwind of a career for Joel Embiid, but couldn't take him out of the top 3, guys. Come on.
It does feel weird having Embiid outside of the top 3 and having Towns above Embiid does seem a little strange. That is who I have at number 3. But I mean, all the disappointment from Embiid's season combined with the incredible regular season of Towns is why I feel pretty comfortable having Towns higher. I mean, he averaged 24, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 53% from the field, 42 from 3. I mean, he was awesome, all-star starter, all-NBA third team. A really great, player and, again, impactful on winning. Of course, in the playoffs and overall, the defense is a huge question, and there's never going to be, I don't know if you'll ever have a great, great, great defense with Towns at the 5. Yes, Nick?
I have a huge question.
Yeah.
Is he the best player on his team?
No.
No, he's not the best player.
No.
Okay.
No. But the MVP thing, I could see an MVP conversation because the Knicks could be really good in the regular season. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he was top 7 in MVP. If he got his numbers up to, like, we're not that far away from 26 and 14 per game on a top seed in the East. Like, that could be really, really good.
His season last year might have been deserving of a top 7 MVP vote. But I just think, like, I made my case. I just think, like, Embiid is a caliber ahead of whatever.
Yeah, I agree. But at this current moment in time, that's where it is. Joey, who's your number 3?
I actually have Victor Wembanyama. And I know. Talent-wise, he's better than Cat, who I have at 2. However, Wemby, we're talking about, if we want to talk about impact and like, I know, I do think, that's the thing. I expect bigger things and better things this year out of the Spurs, but it's the same thing for the Knicks. Like, Knicks should be a finals contender this year. Like, if they don't make the finals, it's almost a loss of a season for the Knicks. The Spurs just want to make the playoffs. Wemby could easily be my number 2 next year, and maybe 1 who knows how big of a leap he does. But if he's healthy this year, the Spurs are a winning team, and he's obviously going to be the star of the show. Yeah, but I think I just need to see it first. I'm not ready to crown him just yet. I don't want to rush into the whole Wemby's stardom yet, because he's gonna be it, but it's more of like, okay, it's only been 2 years. Let's wait 1 more year until he actually makes the playoffs to crown him.
He dropped 42 on Christmas Day in the Garden. I think, like, he's here. You don't want to like burst his bubble or like get out ahead of the stardom, but he dropped 42 on Christmas Day in the Garden.
Yeah, and he played only 46 games in the regular season.
All right, well, you didn't say anything about that. You didn't say injury or anything. You said...
Well, I said if he's healthy next year as well. Like, if he is healthy, his
Towns
stats
over
are the
Wemby,
same, and they have a winning team, I'll put him above Cat. But Cat came onto this team and was traded to the Knicks, and they immediately made the conference finals for the first time in, like, 20-plus years. Like, I don't know.
I like it.
And then he got their coach fired.
I like the argument from Joe.
I do not like that coach. I don't like that coach firing, by the way. I don't. It's not his fault. His defense sucks. Cat's defense does suck, and like I said, Wemby's the better. I agree that Wemby's the better player, but until I see the whole team as an improvement, as him being the superstar, I'm not going to crown him just yet.
But you got Sabonis over Sengun.
I will say.
Yes, because Sabonis is my whole heart.
I will say that with the whole team thing, I mean, he has played for a team that has still been tanking the last 2 years near the end of it. So it's like, you know.
I fully expect the Spurs to be a winning team this year. Like, I fully expect us going into these rankings next year, Wemby to be my number 2. It's just right now, I'm going to keep with it.
You have him at 3?
I'm honestly expecting
I have Wemby at 3, yeah.
Yeah. I'm honestly expecting one of us to make a case for him at number 1 next year. I think that could definitely happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, in his 3rd year, I mean, you never know what crazy things could happen. I mean, this guy really is incredible. I mean, has already led the league in blocks both years in the league. He can shoot the 3, rebounds, he can pass. I mean, he can do everything right now. And yeah, I mean, Joey, you're right. It is about the Spurs winning because this is the first year with them having some expectations. I don't know from us individually because I know how loaded the West is, and I'm not quite sure how the Spurs stack up yet, but they have expectations. So it'll be fun to see how he plays under pressure to win for the first time.
100%.
Ben, who's your number 3?
My number 3 was Karl Anthony Towns, and I put him at 3 because I think he's just going to have another huge year this year coming up. Like, now they have Mike Brown as their head coach. Oh, wow. I believe Mike Brown could help make that offense great, and I think Karl Anthony Towns could just have a huge year and look even more improved under Mike Brown. I'm excited for Karl Anthony Towns this year, and he was great last year too, of course. You know, we've seen it. He's already looked great on the Knicks.
Yeah,
absolutely. He should average 11 assists now because he's running all those DHOs that Mike Brown was drawing up for Sabonis.
No, he's got to throw those emphasized no-look passes.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, my gosh. All right, so, Joey, you said you have Towns at 2?
I have Cat, so that means all of y'all have Wemby, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You're not going that crazy.
And at 1...
you said next year there could be an argument for Wemby at 1 possibly. But this
year's 1 is obviously Andre Drummond. You guys have Andre Drummond, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, I have Boban, actually. He hasn't officially retired, I don't think.
No, the Joker, man. Holy moly. Nikola Jokic, dude. I mean, look, last
say his
season
name.
What?
I said say his name.
Nikola Jokic, man. Listen, this is a 3-time MVP winner, and last year he didn't win the MVP and had his best season. I mean, he was ridiculous. He averaged nearly a 30-point triple-double. On the podcast collectively, we voted him as the MVP. I still think he should have 4 MVPs at this current point in time because he carried that Nuggets team when they honestly started off a lot worse. He carried them to some close wins at the beginning of the season before they kind of picked it up a little bit later on in the season. But, like, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, he's just incredible to watch. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the league, has been ever since he came in the league. And the efficiency was even more insane. I mean, he shot 42% from 3, and he probably took 20 or 30 half-court heaves at the end of quarters because he just doesn't care, about, the percentage. So realistically, he probably shot like 43% from 3 and nearly 60 from the field. I mean, this guy's incredible.
Yeah, he had a PER rating of 32.0 last year. I mean, just breaking the scales. He's already the all-time leader in that category, player efficiency rating, which that rating, your VORP, which is your victories over replacement, that one's kind of skewed because if you have a crappy backup, then it's going to be higher. And then box score plus minus, which is like, I think it's all the category. Like it's I'm actually not sure what box score plus minus is, but I know that it's pretty.
Plus minus is when you are out on the floor. How much are you going up by? And then when you're taking off, how much are they making it back?
And then I believe box plus minus is that per 100 possessions. So it's
Got
like your offensive
Yes.
and defensive rating, but where it's the points, but per 100.
Yeah, well, he leads everything. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still, I mean, we'll get to it in the next episode. In my opinion, spoiler alert, I still think he's the best player in the league. I mean, he's just incredible. Excited to see what he does next year. Hopefully, with some less pressure around him, he could get his assists up more with all the shooters that they have now in Denver. But yeah, man, I mean, he's the Joker. He's been this good for a long time, and he was even better this year. So I was just so impressed by him.
do you guys think he'll ever enter GOAT combos?
That'll be tricky.
I mean, there's two guys right now that are pretty hard to compete with.
I think he's got to win some more championships for me to make him enter mine. But if
he goes to offer a three-peat like the next 3 years,
well, then that's another thing. But I think the conversation at this moment in time is, when do we start putting him in the conversations as like a top big to ever play the game, a top center to ever play? Because he's so unique. He's so unique because of his passing ability. He's not the most athletic. He's not going to jump out of the gym. He's not going to bruise you a ton, like visually, like a Shaq.
water polo.
Yeah, water polo.
The one thing that has always been his downside was his defense, but I'm even looking at his defense has gotten better. Like this past year, he had his career high in steals, which was just under 2 a game, which I know steals are an inflated stat, but that means you still have active hands. It means you're clogging up the lane. You're still doing great defense.
I've never seen someone with, I mean, his skill level is not as high as like LeBron or Durant or Curry or whatever. Like, he can't do things with the basketball that they can. But I've never seen someone with such high skill around the basket, passing, shooting, also have just an IQ that is unmeasurable. Like, he knows where all 9 guys are on the court at all times, and he probably knows where the 3 refs are too. Like, he just has that thing mapped out in his mind, and he plays like he could play with his eyes closed. He makes difficult things seem effortless.
He's playing in slow motion.
Yeah,
he really is, especially when he shoots the ball too.
True.
That's right. Ben, you have anything you want to say about Jokic?
I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing, you know? But he's definitely one of the best passers I ever have seen in my lifetime while watching the NBA. I don't know how he makes some of those behind the back passes and makes things happen in slow motion, as you guys, mentioned, and he get a lot of rebounds and just score it so well. He gets a good amount of triple doubles. He can really just do it all. He's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I saw him play. It was his second year in the league. It was in person when the Nuggets played the Cavs in Cleveland right before the All-Star break, and that was right when Jokic was starting to become a full-time starter. And I saw him dribbling up the court and making some like passes and scoring down low. I'm like, who is this guy? This guy is just making it look so easy. Then in the second quarter, he made a 3. I'm like, what? This is crazy. And now he's becoming, an all-time great. So it's just been really fun to see the evolution. And we'll see if the Nuggets can really be a title contender next season. But that is it for our top 10 centers list. Honestly, not a whole lot of parity. How many guys did we include? 12 guys combined, I believe.
Hart and Gobert were the only 2 that weren't represented on everybody's.
Correct. That is correct. So, yeah, that is it for the top 10 centers list. In the next episode, top 50 players in the league, which is going to be a combined list, which is a pretty good, measure, where those guys are at in the league. So excited to hear all that happen.
Kitchen's open.
Yeah, kitchen's open. But yeah, another fun episode. You guys have anything else before we get out of here?
Don't think so.
Nope.
Well, let's peace on out of here, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.